This is the village of Resident Evil 4. What is arguably the most memorable and iconic location of this entry in the franchise. And in this video, I'm going to be going over this entire location with a fine comb and tell you why I think that the village is kind of weird. Man, as much as I'd like to stay next to this fire and keep warm, I think I'm good. This guy is straight fucked. Oh, let's move on, shall we? To keep things simple for you guys, I'm going to go over each and every location in clockwise rotation. Why did that rhyme? Anyways, that is going to start us off with the barn that is actually only accessible in the Mercenaries mode and not the main game. However, we're not going to let those restrictions stop us, now are we? Let's go ahead and take a peep and see what the inside of the barn looks like in the main game. Well, this was fucking disappointing. Not a whole lot to look at here. I guess that's what you expect in an area that isn't accessible, but it's interesting that the second floor doesn't have a walkway platform to actually walk on. Still has that little walkway on the side. Nothing really fancy here to look at. Well, that was a short and sweet tour of the barn, so let's go ahead and enter one of the very few houses that resides in this village. You know, when first entering this house, I didn't really notice this gigantic pot on the floor right here. Kind of blended in, you know, everything's brown here. But, I think this might be their idea of a restroom. Now, don't get me wrong, they could easily go out back and take care of business, but my God, what is in this? You see this shit? It's literally shit. It's shit in a pot. Why? Even though there isn't a whole lot to this house, it's kind of nice if I do say so myself. Oh my God. What the hell was that? I disregard everything I just said. There is one nagging issue about this house that makes no sense. And that's the fact that this house has a total of 2 chimneys. If you don't believe me, you take a look outside. That's right. Here's the first chimney, and here's the second chimney. Now, this would make sense if there was a fireplace on the inside or other heating sources, but the fact that on the inside of this house, there is none of that. 0 fireplaces and 2 chimneys. That, my friend, makes no sense at all. But that is going to do it for this house. We are going to go over next door and check out our neighbor's house and see what we can find. Whoo, baby. Man, they got it nice here. Lots of room down here on the first floor, and yes, there is a set of stairs leading to a second floor. Can't wait to check that out. But staying down here on the first floor, you kind of notice that there really isn't much of a living room set up in these houses. I wonder why. I guess the Ganados just don't believe in that sort of thing. Me personally, I like a nice sofa and a chair to sit in, plop down, lay back, relax, you know, that's that sort of stuff. But let's move on and check out the rest of the first floor before we head upstairs and check out that area. I wonder what this little tiny window is used for. And what is a fascinating find is this wood-burning stove right here, or a cast iron potbelly oven, which would be used to keep this house warm and cook their food at the same time. My question is does this actually go up and go out on the other side of the house as a proper exhaust or ventilation system? Oh, what do you know? It actually does. And it's something that actually makes sense in this village. I'm actually impressed. And you know, I gotta say, this dining room area isn't too bad. It's actually quite cozy if I'm being honest. They got a nice big dining room table, and they even got a tablecloth to go with it. These guys are living it up over here. But I can't help but notice that there's this giant-ass pot right next to my face that looks very similar to the pot that we seen in the first house. And if my memory serves me right... Oh, God. Yep. That is bad. Well, it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that these villagers do in fact quite literally crap where they eat. I gotta stop putting myself through this shit. Alright. Let's go upstairs and check out that area, because I'm gonna barf. Oh, what do you know? We see our very first bed in this game. Man, this house is full of surprises. But I gotta say, this bed is not very inviting considering those stains. I'm not even going to attempt to guess what those are. However, I do think it does have some correlation with what is in, yet again, another pot that we see at the end of this bed. And, oh, yeah. I can't tell if it's food or feces or maybe a combination of both. But by gosh, I guess it is convenient if you gotta wake up in the middle of the night and take a piss. Or in this case, a fat shit. We're done with the second floor. We're gonna move on. Holy shit. Wait, wasn't there a window here before? Oh, that's weird. Well, now that we're done with the 2-story house, it takes us over here to our next location, which is the giant-ass watchtower. Is it too late to tell you I'm afraid of heights? Well, let's go up, ladies and gentlemen. Ugh. Whew. Man, that was tiring. Ugh. I need you back in shape. Anyways, unfortunately, there's not really a whole lot up here to discover on this watchtower. But I will say, you know, if it wasn't for that police officer down there being burnt to an absolute crisp, this would make for a pretty nice view of the entire village. But of course, there's something always around here trying to kill the vibe. Oh well. Moving on. Ah! 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 How does a Leon do that? How does he do that? I think I got something for it though. Do you eat it? Do you eat it or do you put it on there? I don't know. I'm gonna do both. Oh wow, that works magnificently. Oh, okay, I'm all better now. Now behind this big old fancy door is the town hall, where all of the villagers go after you ring the church bell. It is initially locked behind an insignia key, but like the barn earlier, we're not gonna let those restrictions stop us. Let's take a peek, shall we? Okay, I don't know about you, but this feels really weird. Being inside the town hall when you're not supposed to be, and everything is like not loaded into this room. It's so bare and empty, like someone basically packed up all their stuff and moved out. Very vacant. Anyways, let's move on. And over here you can actually look past the town hall and see the church way in the distance. And if you know Resident Evil 4, you can actually shoot the church bell to make the villagers go about their day and get on with their bingo session. But what is interesting is that we can actually go to this church section ahead of time before we're actually supposed to and get a closer look and see what it looks like in this part of the game. Yeah, this is really weird because when you actually get to this church, you'll notice that it isn't as far away as it is made out to be. It is actually a low poly model of the church that is shrunken down to give it a feel and look that it is further away than it actually is. Just a fun little detail I thought I'd share with you guys. But with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the next and final house in the village. There's not a whole lot of living space here in this village, is there? Only 3 houses? I feel like that doesn't make sense with how many villagers actually come in and attack you in this game. Well, coming into the final house of the village, there is no surprise that there is a lack of living room furniture in this house. And of course, yet again, there is another giant pot full of goopy, gumpy shit. However, this pot is actually leaking onto the floor here, which, it's a nice little detail that would rather go unnoticed in this hectic area in the game. But other than that, we're going to move past this area into the back room and see what we can find in there. Moving further into this house, we do notice a door that is chained and locked shut. But it is a good thing that I brought this butter knife with me. You never know when you might need it. Alright, let's check out this room, shall we? Well, what do you know, we have another bed make an appearance. And given that this is the final house in this area, it makes a total of 2 beds in this entire village. Which seems a little odd because in the game there are countless villagers coming after you, and given that there's only 2 beds that we come across here, it makes you wonder, where in the hell do these villagers sleep at night? I don't know. I guess maybe they use the living room area to just lay across the floor. I guess that would explain the lack of any furniture. I don't know. It's just very weird to me. But what is even crazier is that exploring this house on the outside, I actually came across a hidden green herb that I have never came across or found all of my times playing this game. It's actually right here on the side of the house where they keep their logs, right behind this wooden structure. And I am curious, did you know about this green herb being tucked away right here? Because like I said, all of my time playing this game, I've never noticed this or gotten a prompt to pick up this green herb. I guess in all the chaos of this section of the game, I never really stopped and slowed down to take a look in this little crack right here for this green herb. Now, I have to admit, I wasn't originally going to explore this area because it's not a center point in the main village. However, I did find something very interesting. Once you make your way over here off the beaten path, you notice this small little shack, and right outside you see this makeshift stove, sort of like what we seen in the two-story house earlier. And it made me wonder, why is this outside rather than inside? But doing a little research this time around, I found out that there are actually makeshift barrel stoves like this that do exist. And I thought this was a really cool detail, especially, having it outside rather than inside. And, to be honest, the village here is starting to make a little bit more sense than I initially thought. I might have to repackage this video. And so that is everything that I could find carefully analyzing the village in Resident Evil 4. Some hidden details, some hidden items, and some things that actually make sense this time around. And others, well, not so much. But with that said, I think bingo time is about to wrap up, so I gotta get the hell out of here. But before I go, I do have to ask one thing from you guys. Hit that hype button. You guys enjoyed the hell out of the video on the first house in this video game. So, show me you enjoyed this video by smashing that hype button. And who knows, maybe with your help, we could hit the leaderboards. I know it's a hefty task, but I think we can accomplish it. And of course, again, thank you for 3,000 subscribers. It sounds wild saying that. I never would have thought I would hit that number. But that is going to do it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to stay tuned because I will see you all at the farm.